We will have the pleasure of hearing Dr. Galal, Hassan Dean, Professor of Information Systems Engineering. Professor Galal Dean is currently full Professor of Information Systems Engineering at the Faculty of Computers and Information at Cairo University. His core research interests span information systems engineering methodology, systems architecting and evaluation, usability engineering and ICT innovation, and the strategic planning of information systems. He's also the current holder of the Cairo University Chair of Innovation, which he established from scratch with responsibilities for directing the Cairo University Innovation Support Office. As part of his Tempus supported role, Dr. Galal has received extensive training in Europe on innovation, technology transfer and innovation management. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Management Sciences, Computing and Information Systems stream with maximum common load and a position as the top of the class from the Sadat Academy for Management Sciences. He also holds a Master's degree in Systems Analysis and Design from the City University of London, a PhD in Information Systems Engineering from Brunel University in the UK, a BA in Architecture from the University of Greenwich, and finally a Master in Advanced Architecture Studies from the Galal Graduate School at the University of London. He has spent over 15 years as a full-time faculty member in the United Kingdom. He has published over 100 journal and research articles and organized a variety of international research conferences as well as other events. Dr. Galal has consulted widely in the areas information systems, software engineering, and usability evaluation in the United Kingdom, United States, and Egypt. He's a full-time professional member of the British Computer Society and a Chartered Information Technology Professional. He's also a certified trainer by the International Board of Certified Trainers and the Human Resources Development Consultant. I think the audience is really impressed by the biography. We are now going to hear Dr. Galal Hassan.
Thank you very much, Dr. Asmaa. I don't know if this is working. Can you hear me? Yeah? Okay. I apologize for the extremely lengthy introduction. I've just asked to send in a biography, which is normally longer than a few lines of introduction, so I do apologize about this very long and rather boring list of things. Did anyone hear me apologize about the long introduction? Okay, so sorry about that. Actually, I have a bit of a challenge this evening, this afternoon rather. Usually when people put some papers at the very last session, especially after lunch, people call it, put me in the graveyard slot. Yeah, that's fun. When papers people are very tired and lazy and having eaten and stuff like that, so my challenge is, I'm being put in this slot because I'm a really good presenter and I will hold your attention till the end of my talk, or because it's not really an important talk, therefore we can just put it at the end. I'll let you be the judge of that. First, I'm very happy that most people sitting to listen to me now are actually students. Yeah, I do get much warmer and much enthusiastic response from students than all the professors. My talk is really about how can we benefit from open innovation, especially within an emerging country context. Many approaches and many advices and frameworks are actually not designed for people like us. They're designed for other countries and other cultures. So the challenge is, can we actually make innovation work for us, for our kind of context? So I will come to touch upon these things, and I hope you can join me in protesting and asking universities to do a much better job in Egypt than they are currently doing. So, allow me just to briefly, got a technical problem here, I think. Allow me just to very quickly introduce the center where I come from, where I currently lead in Cairo University. It is called the Innovation Support Center, where we are running two Tempus-funded projects. Tempus is a program by the European Union aiming at raising the capacities of higher education institutions in many parts of the world, including the MENA region, which is the Middle East and North Africa. We have two projects needing completion. In fact, this one is practically finished, the University Chair of Innovation, and I have the honor of being in that position, the University Chair of Innovation. And the other one is called Enterprise University Partnership, where it aimed at creating a technology transfer office in Cairo University. So we do have a technology transfer office in Cairo University to help inventors and innovators bring their technologies to real exploitation and application in the marketplace. Okay, so we have people who are experts in the area of commercialization of research as well as protecting it, etc. I think because of the really short span of this talk, I'll be very grateful if you respond to your questions until the end. I think we've heard at many points in this conference about differences between inventing something new, something novel that hasn't existed before, and innovating. And I think this diagram from the European Patent Office training program is very relevant, whereby when you come up with an invention, you have merely a new idea. Okay, something that has not been existed before. Fine, great. But the moment you actually try to turn it into something that people would want to buy, yeah, it becomes an innovation. So innovation really has to meet a real need, yeah. It could be a pre-existing need, or it could be a need that you have created, yeah, for the iPhone. Who wanted an iPhone? Yeah, before it actually existed. Anyone wants an iPhone? No, it created the need. Sometimes you actually have to work on creating the need, and I'm sure people working in the marketing area, Dr. Asmaa, are experts on that. But the idea really is that you have to fulfill the real need to come with a with profit. Right, so in other words, innovation is going in the reverse direction from research. I think we've got a real problem here with the technology. I think I'll just stick to not using my presenter. The point of how the money come about, or where they direct it when you come up with an interesting idea, when you need money to do research to come up with an idea. Okay, so that's this direction, going from funding to research and development, and then you come up with an idea. But innovation is actually going in the other direction. Because some people tend to confuse research and development activities with innovation. Research and development is trying to find a problem and come up with an idea to work with it. But when you actually apply it such that it actually brings you some income, things become rather different. Someone also mentioned the business of ecosystem, and I'd like to give a very simple and very powerful example of the inventor or the innovator, rather, thinking also of the ecosystem. When Thomas Edison, obviously he's one of the most famous inventors in the world, who has more than 1,000 patents to his name, when he invented the incandescent lamp. The incandescent lamp is the one that works, you know, by basically a filament that deposits crystal fluid, and then it starts to radiate light as well as heat and other things. This is called an incandescent lamp. He did not just invent the lamp itself, although that took him like 2,000 steps, 2,000 different experiments, trying and experimenting with different materials. He also thought about how people were going to use the lamp. He thought about electricity, and he built up an electricity distribution business. And he thought about the wiring, how to bring the wiring and the cabling, to bring the electricity from outside, from the distribution point to the use point, homes. He even thought about the luminaires. This is a French term, I think our French guests will be happy to hear. The luminaire is where you actually fit the light bulb, the megaphone, our lamp bulb, megaphone, the way where you fit the actual lamp. Actually designed these, even the switches on the wall, things to turn the lights on and off. Do you see what I mean? So actually he thought about an entire integrated system around his invention. So that became an innovation. And in fact, he made much more money in the electricity generation and distribution business than he did with using lamps, selling lamps. Okay, so that's how holistically an inventor thinks. Now, what does that have to do with what I'm trying to say to you today? Okay, what I'm trying to say really is that the age of the lone inventor has gone. Almost completely. Not quite completely, but almost completely has gone. Where you have a researcher working by himself or by herself in a lab to develop a new idea and solve a problem and come up with an invention or an innovation that can be marketed, has almost certainly gone. Almost everything that could be discovered by a single person working alone has been already discovered. Almost. I'm not saying everything, I'm sure one of you will have an example of something like yesterday in the kitchen or something. That's not what I'm talking about. Therefore, I'd like to quote one of the well-known modern writers in innovation, Charles Leadbeater, whom I met in the WISE World Innovation Summit on Education in Qatar last year, where he stressed that innovation is fundamentally, well, it has two fundamental or two essential characteristics. You will always have them. Yeah, it's not something that you can give up. Innovation is collaborative and it is incremental. And invention does not have to be collaborative. You can do it by yourself, you can invent something. Yeah. You also can do it in just one go, though most of the incidents in history, when you look at it, actually inventions even happened through a number of successive steps and trials and errors. So remember these two words, collaborative and incremental. I also translate that, I'll take that a little bit further myself to say that innovation is actually multifaceted, it has many facets, and it is multidisciplinary. And this is one area where I have grave misgivings about university education in our country, in Egypt. It is not multidisciplinary, except in very rare circumstances. In fact, our dear Supreme Council of Universities and its so-called sector committees effectively work hard, maybe they don't mean to, but effectively they work hard to stifle and kill innovation by insisting that people always work in very well-bounded areas with very limited boundaries. Yeah? If someone from computer science, for example, writes a paper dealing with marketing or trust or culture aspect of an innovation, people say, but what does that have to do with computer science? This is not in our area. I'm sorry, I cannot give you credit for this. It actually happened, I've seen it with my own eyes. So essentially we need to really push our universities to do this more often, yeah? Or really, not just using words, as the British say, just paying lip service to it, we need to be able to do it properly. And also, I want to say that innovation is problem and exploitation oriented. I've already said that, but there's something very interesting I need to pick up from the presentation that Dr. Asmaa gave about the importance of market research. Yeah? The importance of actually really getting to know your customers. What do they want? What are their needs? What are their worries? What are the pain areas that you need to help them solve? Because too often we just skip this very important piece where technologists, we love technology, we like to write programs and like things that do wonderful things on a mobile device or a computer screen or on a website or something like that. We rush too far to this. At the university, when students come to me to do their final year projects, one of the very early questions they ask me, what language do you think we should write this with? Say, come on, you should not be thinking about this now. You should be thinking about what problem you're trying to solve. What is the need your system is going to be satisfied? So really we need to do this a lot more carefully, and also add to the conventional quantitative survey-based or questionnaire-based market research, something that has been used in design in other countries called ethnography. Ethnography, the study of human cultures. You actually need to understand very deeply the specific culture you're targeting your product at. Okay, so bearing this in mind, let me now move to the business about open and closed innovation. Now, what I'm showing you now is a very general model of innovation. We often call the innovation funnel, yeah? It goes like that, wide and it narrows down. I'm sorry if the image is not very clear on this screen, but I can take you through it very quickly. At the early stages of the funnel, where you do a broad and wide search, yeah? The funnel has a bigger mouth, yeah? Bigger opening at the top, isn't it? Yeah? Where you have lots of ideas coming in, lots of potential problems that you might want to solve. And then you work on them to select which ones are worthy of pursuing further and funding further to actually try to study and to develop a prototype solution for it. And then you implement, actually build it, start producing it, and then you finally market, take it out to market. Use my presenter again. Now this is the same concept, the concept of a funnel, where you have lots of ideas coming in, and then you do lots of search through, lots of selection, lots of eliminating infeasible ideas and things that are not going to work very well, until you actually get to the end of this funnel, and only the feasible ideas that have proven their worth actually go out to market. Now, the boundaries or the sides of the funnel are solid. Nothing comes in or goes out to the wider environment. This is simply closed innovation. Closed innovation. Nothing bad about it. I'm not saying it's bad, but I think the old model, the conventional model of doing innovation. So if you're working for Orange or Vodafone or Valeo or 3M or Procter & Gamble or whatever, you rely entirely on your internal research strength and your internal innovation strength. Every bit of expertise you use is actually brought from in-house. Yeah? So this is closed innovation. Nothing comes in and nothing goes out until you actually go to market. And what happens here obviously is a lot of processing. Yeah? Lots of big, wild ideas. Okay, what are we going to do? Which ones are we going to pursue? And so on until you get to the side of the market, and hopefully you come out with a product that people would want to buy or invest in. Let me contrast this with the other diagram, which is the open innovation model. In the open innovation model, the boundaries of the firm or the organization are actually permeable. Things can go in and come out. Yeah? They also call it porous. Yeah? The walls are porous, i.e. they have pores, they have holes in them. Yeah? Things can come in and out. What can come in and what can come out? I can actually bring in or buy in or integrate ideas or inventions or innovations that have been developed by somebody else. I bring them from the outside. And at the same time, some of my ideas can actually be farmed out or sold out or licensed out to somebody else who might actually be able to use them. Yeah? In the previous model, if some of these interesting ideas were not selected for further development or something happened here that eliminated part of the ideas that I'm working on, I simply filed them away. Yeah, okay, maybe I'll love to get a patent for them to prevent my competitors from using the same idea because they got there first, but essentially I put them to one side, I don't invest any more in them because I don't think they're feasible. But here, in the open model, it's different. You actually allow other people, including your competitors, to use some of your inventions. Yeah, you simply strike a deal. Yeah, you give them a licensing agreement. Yeah, and if this is an idea that you're not really interested in pursuing, it's not part of your business model, it's not part of your work domain, you don't really want to get into this, give it to somebody else, send it to somebody else, rent it to somebody else so that they can exploit it. Yeah? I hope you start to see now the relevance of this to what I said earlier when I talked about universities and what they need to do. If industry is not the open innovation model, then clearly universities and research centers, researchers who are outside the organization, are around this ecosystem, aren't they? They are in the context of this organization. Therefore, they become one source of right ideas. And this is really one of the advantages of the open innovation model, because we can bring in people from outside. Yeah? We cannot assume that all smart people work for us. Yeah? In the closed model, we assume that all smart people that we need are actually working for us. All the smart ideas we need are obtainable from within the boundaries of the firm. But if you open your boundaries up to people coming from the outside, ideas coming out from the outside, then you basically can harvest or you can build upon ideas that come out from the outside. Of course, this is not going to be for free, absolutely. But essentially, you have much wider domain or realm within which you can work, and then you can actually use the resources much more effectively. At the national level, you actually make better use of resources. I'm sure all of you heard about the underutilized, let's not say misused, yeah? Let's say underutilized research facilities and labs and machines and equipment that are like that in somebody's lab, locked up and get used maybe once a year, if at all, yeah? So why don't we use at the national level these rare and expensive research facilities that we have in universities and in research centers? Once we do that, we certainly get a much higher return on investment in capital as well as people as well, because basically you're exploiting your resources much more effectively. If you use the resources to develop an idea and it's not working for you, it's not part of your product portfolio, simply farm it out, sell it out, license it out to somebody else. With the ultimate effect on society that actually, ultimately, the whole society benefits economically and technically and socially. I very much admire the presentation today by Dr. Ayman Ibrahim from Orange Labs, where he said, well, some innovations don't actually have to aim at making an income for the innovator. Some innovation may actually be oriented or directed to social needs social ends. We want poor people to be less poor. We want them to have better education. We want them to have better health. Can you say this? Yeah, education, health, knowledge, and information. We can do this. Yeah, our community can do this if we think about cross-changing, changing ideas. But of course, the downside, not the downside, but the caveat, if you like, the caution here is that you need to have a very careful management framework of your R&D assets. Yeah, because essentially, when you start to produce ideas that are protected by patents, then you start to say, okay, I need to be very careful about what is my patent portfolio, which ones I'm going to develop further, which ones I'm going to relinquish or give up completely, and which ones I'm going to sell or license out to somebody else. I have also to say that our country, the wider ecosystem, has a strong obligation in that we have to have a sound and robust legal system, so that if somebody infringes your copyright agreement, or infringes your patent, or infringes the license agreement, you can actually take them to court in the fair knowledge that probably you will be getting what you deserve. Yeah? Probably, not certainly. Nothing is certain in the legal world, not even the most advanced country in the world. But you have to have a reasonable amount of confidence that this will happen. Unfortunately, in our country, you know how it is. Yeah, so we need to work on this. It's a critical issue that we have to develop. It's a revolution. Okay? This is part of the things that we need to be revolutionary about. Let me just give you very quick examples of how people cooperate outside the academic domain. The iPhone has over 200 patents recorded for it. It's actually built upon 200 patents that are held by Apple. In fact, I heard that the other licenses that they've had to buy or rent or get an agreement or strike up an agreement to use is in the region of 2,000. I could not verify this. Yeah, I would not totally surprised if at least 3 or 4 times this many patents that are registered to Apple is actually being utilized and built upon by Apple Corporation to be able to build something like the iPhone. Another interesting statistics I found is that the fourth generation wireless telecommunications standard actually has 18,000, more than 18,000 patents that have already been registered, and over 16,000 are pending. In total, the 4G wireless technology relies on 80,000 patents. So do you see what I mean? Something like this could never have happened if we have been adopting closed innovation all the way through. If we only rely on our own internal products and only the patents that we can muster and develop. And in fact, many of the big corporations are actually doing the same. For example, Philips, which is very known for many of its innovations and inventions in the audio-visual realm, the laser disc, etc., used to rely completely on its internal resources, R&D efforts, but later on they adopted an open innovation model where you can actually get ideas from outside. You can actually buy in innovations and even entire companies to add to their product portfolio, and they actually spin it out as well. Yeah, so they can actually relegate some of their activities to a smaller unit that is more flexible, more agile, and they can actually develop this away from them having a stake in this company at the same time. So things are changing. The very nature of innovation is, in fact, that it rarely deals with a single technology or a single market. To innovate, you really have to interconnect. I found this diagram very sort of expressive what I'm trying to say here. Usually, innovation deals with a bundle of knowledge coming from various sources. So if you want to be a good innovator, you must learn how to cooperate and how to talk to each other, and how to listen to each other, right? And actually build upon the advantage that each of you have as students or as teams working in innovation. This guy also has a nice saying about innovation and conversion, which really is to say that innovation always happens at collision points, right? Meeting points of different technologies and different philosophies and different ideas. Therefore, the best innovation teams are these teams that have a multitude of talents among them. Yeah, it's unlikely that you'll be as successful if all of you are engineers, graduating from the same faculty, from the same department, doing exactly the same things. Hence my call for multidisciplinary work. A good innovation team would have someone who specializes in marketing, someone who specializes in business development, someone who specializes in artistic design or interaction design, someone who specializes in technology, building and development. You see what I mean? You need different talents, you need different people. So this is again open innovation, but at a more micro level, not necessarily at an organizational national level, but even within the same team, you need to exchange ideas to create these sort of sparks when things collide. Yeah? As you know, when you get the stones together, sparks fly. And this is what this guy is about. That innovation happens at the verge, at the meeting point of things that are essentially different in nature. There are a few, if we are, because I'm an educator and a trainer mainly, there are a few things that I try to instill in my students. I try to teach them that difference is good, difference is not a threat, it's pointed to your advantage. Difference means a different point of view, something you would not have seen by yourself. So let somebody else point it out. But don't take a difference as necessarily a hostile move or a challenge or something negative. Diversity is enriching. Again, back to multidisciplinarity, and we need to be able to accept people perhaps from business school into a computer science program. Why not? Why not? Yeah, I was head of information systems department in Cairo University for 6 years, and I could not accept to my PhD program in information systems someone with a BA in management information systems. Can you believe that? This is actually the case in many Egyptian universities. Yeah, someone has a business administration master, yeah, who specialized in management information technology and management technology, could not be admitted to the school of computing to do a thesis or research project on information systems. This is not good. This is not good at all. Failure is instructive, accept it, deal with it, learn from it. Thomas Edison said, oh, to invent the light bulb, I did not fail 2,000 times, it simply took me 2,000 steps to get there. Yeah, my success consisted of 2,000 steps. And I only got there in the 2001 step. 2001st. Experimentation is necessary. It's okay to fail. Yeah, experiment and fail. You need to blend ideas from different perspectives. Criticism is useful. I'm afraid that, again, back to our culture, we normally regard criticism as something very negative. If someone dares criticize you, then he either disrespects you or he either hates you. He is either your enemy, yeah, or someone who really wants to insult you because he's directed criticism. Use criticism. It's good to have criticism that aims at improving the product or the idea you're trying to develop. Also sharing ideas actually increase output and productivity, and this is another side of open innovation. When you actually air your idea to somebody else, yeah, that somebody else can actually give you something that you can actually integrate with your process. That's why when we give some recommendations for brainstorming, we say try to build on the ideas once. You actually add up to something in the end. The upshot of this is that corporations and companies and organizations need to reward team innovation and creativity, not focus on the individual. So that success of the team is something that should be shared for everybody, and everybody can actually benefit from it. Now let me look quickly at what universities should do. Sorry. What universities should do, I've already hinted at that. We need real multidisciplinary research, not just lip service, not just talk about it. So I'm actually implementing any. Until this day, I have not seen it fully implemented, except perhaps in the case of the American University in Canada. It's only because they don't have to comply with the silly rules of the Supreme Council of Universities, and they're ancient and inflexible scientific or whatever we call scientific. We need universities to develop fair and practical IP policy. Yeah, I was just asked today about, I've invented something that I need to patent. Who owns the intellectual property right? Who owns the patent? The university needs to spell very clearly who would own the patent in case a researcher or a member of staff develops it. It's very sad that in our state Egyptian universities, people do not sign a contract. I did not sign a contract with Cairo University. I did not. Okay. My time is nearly up, so I need to hurry up. So that business about the IP policy needs to be stated clearly in the contract. We need frameworks for knowledge and research, asset management, as well as sharing. We need to manage intellectual property rights. We need to work on research commercialization. Something again that's missing from many universities is a policy or a structure to help manage relationships with industry and alumni. Very important. We don't have databases. They don't exist as a common thing to actually have database for liaising with alumni and industry. And this is really something that can boost open innovation and make people more innovative. We need to connect with professional organizations more, and we need to expose students and researchers to industry. Now, on the industry side, they need, again, to develop policies, structures, and staff for university and external research liaison. This is that is, if they want to develop or adopt open innovation policy, we need to have mechanisms to effect that collaboration. They need to develop legal frameworks for external collaboration and IP exchange. They need to learn that it's okay to send out the exploitation rights for a patent liability. They need to develop policies for innovation management. Maybe they need to have an innovation champion or an innovation council to help with setting up necessary policies for innovation, exploitation, and management. And again, they need to help to expose students and research to industry by doing the reverse side of what the university needs to do by accepting students who want to spend some time in industry and so on. I think because of run out of time, I'd like to just stop here and show you this final conclusion. I'm not happy to take questions and share. Thank you very much.